I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. Ooh. And anyway, hi. I am Sanyu or Sanyu Estelle. You can actually have it both ways. And I am going to do the reading for the month of July. For a minute there, I forgot what day of the month it is. I'm not usually one to shuffle on the camera, but it seems to be something that comforts people. So I will do that. And don't forgive the crows. And also, it is the 4th of July. So I'm sure there will be some ridiculousness. There's 2 dogs in here who are both trying to sit on me because of the fireworks and them not knowing the difference between fireworks and the end of the world. So there may be a few little disruptions. I keep looking to the wrong place in the camera. But yes, I'm going to be doing what I call a Koa reading. It's a spread I made myself. It's a 3-card spread. Card number 1 is Koa, C card in Koa. Concern card. What is objectively the concern here? And then card number 2 is the opportunity or the obstacle card. And card number 3 is the advantage or aversion card. And the reason that they are dualistic is because I am of the philosophy that it is not what you hold, but how you carry it. And therefore, nobody is required to take any experience on in any particular way because experience itself, once it takes place, is fundamentally neutral. Even if somebody intends for you to have a negative experience, you can turn that into positive for yourself. And there's nothing that anyone can do to stop you because you belong to your own perspective. And that is the one thing that you actually have free will over. So, concern card, opportunity card, advantage aversion, everything in its right way, read reversed. Okay, so let's get into this business right now. We are using the Gemstones and Crystal Tarot by Helmut something. Helmut Lang or Helmut Hang. I don't remember where the book is at this point, but let's just say I'll put it in the notes because I don't know where that is right now. But it is Stones on the Deck. So card number 1, the concern card, is 7 of Coins. Coins, also known as Pentacles, is the suit of Earth. It is a suit of reaping what we sow. It's the suit of finances, foundation. I think of it personally as the suit of ancestry because our relatives are either dead and in the ground or in the air or in the ether or in the cosmos. And also the suit of the physical body, the spiritual body, the emotional body, the sexual body, the intellectual body, because you wake up and die from your perspective. And so all those things are the world, that the environment that you exist within. So to begin with, we have the 7 of Coins, Lepidolite. Ooh, it's like why I am hearing wisen up yourself, which is obviously not the actual lyrics, but a necessity of maturing to the circumstances, an understanding what is necessary, not as only what is desirable, but what is actually called for, a taking on of responsibility. Lepidolite and particularly purple stones obviously are calling upon your 6th energy center, 3rd eye, other-eyed energy. When I say other-eyed, I mean unknown energy, whether that might be elemental for you or animist or angelic or, ethereal or whatever that might be, alchemical. People work with the various dimensions of experience in the way that they need to. But the 7 of Coins to me is like, it's time to cultivate for ourselves an understanding of what is needful. And because we are the only thing in within our true and full jurisdiction, or let's say true and most jurisdiction, because obviously existence is OG and has, dibs on you. You exist because of it, so you can't undo that. But you have the greatest jurisdiction over yourself, so it's really about what you can do. We are exiting a time where it is still acceptable to point fingers at people without actually just doing what you can do. You can be honest or even wrong in your approach, because it is what it is. But after that's done, it's what you do with it that actually matters. Bashar, as I call Bashar, would say, circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. And I think that that's a hard thing to hear when we want to point fingers, because we're like, but what about, and what about? And the answer to that, in a lot of ways, whether that seems harsh or not, is, and what about it? People are surviving terrible shit every day. And if they have to figure out how to move on from that and become better, so can you. It doesn't mean that you can't say what's going on, but at the end of the day, you can say what's going on and still be about your business, which is your existence, which is you, which is what you should be doing, how you are called, how you shouldn't be caught up in the invention of humanity, how you shouldn't be so caught up in the experiment here and the experience here that you forget that you are a greater being, a being who chose a body. Just a little castor oil for them lips, a greater being that chose a body to house inside of its spirit at this point in time, because I personally believe that your consciousness is obviously greater than the material realm, because it's connected to everything that is, and because it doesn't have the illusion of temporality. It's more infinite, more eternal, right? Consciousness is eternal, whereas the material realm has some dimension to it that makes it deteriorating. So everything comes to an end is also what the 7 coins is saying. Like, when we need to move on, mature, wisen up ourselves, take the next level of our own learning on as a serious invocation and an offering to what existence is, then we are putting ourselves in a position where we really are matching in character and in quality to the best of our ability what it is that existence is, how it responds and acts. Because being fundamentally neutral, it's going to get whatever it needs to get out of what takes place, and it's not putting a judgment on what took place, because everything is it. Everything exists within it. Everything is relevant that is here, which is why it exists. If it wasn't relevant to existence, then it would be the antithesis of existence. It just wouldn't exist. So there's a rooting down and wisening up quality to the 7 of Pentacles coins that I really like. And it's also about, being resolute, resonant, and also I'm getting like tree images, right? That what you put out is what you're getting back, but you're really allowing yourself to be open enough to get back what it is that you're actually getting back, as opposed to what you're imagining should be taking place at the moment that what you perceive to be as your maturity happens. Because the real indication of change is that you just do what's needed because it's needed, without any expectation of an outcome that looks any particular way. The satisfaction of doing what is necessary to us is getting to do what's necessary for us. So there's that. And our opportunity obstacle card, our middle card, we have the 10 of Wands reversed, which in this deck is pink and red tourmaline, which is also rubellite. See? So, that it's reversed. So, I kind of like that it's reversed, because the 10 Wands being a suit of fire, personal development, aspirations, motivation, the internal, passionate, motivating engine. how we mirror things, how we see ourselves versus how the world sees us, and whether those images are equally yoked, as opposed to having skewed identities down when we have a skewed identity of ourselves and the world has a high when we have low and they have high. We have a Robin Williams, Whitney Houston, Anthony Bourdain, Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, etc., etc. And then when we have someone who has a high opinion of themselves and the world has a low opinion of them, we have a Trump or a Hitler or any other person who's been drinking too much of their own self. So we want to, if we know who we are, then who we think we are is how we're received in the world. And not how we're received in the world is the way that we think we are. Because fire burns, it burns itself. So yeah, it needs something passionate, a log, something to kindle. You need something to keep that engine going. But once that thing goes, it's self-sustaining. So it's not so much about how the world tells you are. That's supposed to be how fire's reflective. It's more if we are received in the world the way that we think we are, regardless of everybody else. And if those things are not equally yoked, then we know that there's work to do there. Now, when the Ten of Wands is right side up, it usually means like burden, oppression, labor. But the true labor is pretending, right? It's exhausting to constantly remember how to not be what it is you're actually called to be. So when the Ten of Wands is reversed, it's speaking more to the fact that we're so exhausted from the artificiality that we're throwing down bags. People are just coming to Jesus in themselves and understanding that if they're not willing to address what needs to be addressed within them, then no one else is going to be able to do it for them, because wherever you go, there you are. You have yourself. So having yourself, when you realize that you have to give up the ghost is your idea of the way things should have been, your constant rubbernecking, your inability to appreciate your experience by allowing it to appreciate by actually addressing it and learning from it. So that's a part of that maturation of the Seven of Coins, right? That's a part of that understanding that we are coming into bigger, realer things. We want more control over the masterpiece. And the control isn't about other things bending to our will, but about us knowing how to move accordingly in response to other beings, other self, and essentially what existence is showing you through everything that it is, which is everything you're interacting with, including your own opinion of yourself. So I'm like, is spirit talking to the people in the spirit in the house? So there's that. Card number 3. Oh, sorry, I didn't really talk about what the second position is. So the opportunity obstacle card is more about like what's happening outside that you can choose to use as an opportunity or obstacle. Oh, I can't be myself because this is happening this way, or society won't, or some nobody cosign, or I'm Eeyore, boohoo, boohoo, boohoo donkey. So any of those things would be considered what the second card is, which is opportunity, obstacle, what's happening from without. Card number 3, advantage aversion, is what within us is a help or a hindrance. What of our own character works for us or against us? How are we using ourself? And what we have here is the 3 of Cups reversed. Which is funny, I pulled this earlier for somebody too in a different reading. It is pink coral. Ooh. It's pink coral in this deck. See? And we have the 3 of Cups reversed. Now, the 3 of Cups is sort of, to me, good news no matter how it comes. But I think it's more about whether we are present to all the dimensionality and nuance and richness of our experience and the blessings that are coming to us. Are we really using all of our capacity to fill up the space that we're in? Are we really in a state where we are allowing ourselves to be fully present so that there is no sense of time and therefore it is lost to us? And in the activity, we become a time lord in that we slow it down to encapsulate our process. And so we 100% fill space, and therefore time has very little effect on us. So when the Three of Cups is right side up, to me, it's more about that kind of emotional intuition. Because Cups is a suit of water, it's a suit of emotional intelligence. I say this a lot, and if you've gotten a reading or seen or heard from me before, you know what it is. But emotional intelligence, in my opinion, is a 4-step process. Step 1, you feel away. Step 2, you recognize that you is feeling away. Step 3, you feel away, recognize you feeling away, and start to ponder upon how you allowed yourself to arrive at feeling that way. And step number 4 is that you act based upon the first 3. But in the Western world of cis white heteropatriarchy, we learn steps 1 and 4. And so people are just fucking raging, okay? They're acting and then they're reacting, and they're taking no accountability for like all the space in between their ears and their skin body, the skin body. So to me, when you're in that mature Three of Cups energy, you are taking in the dregs of the cup. You are nose deep in a goblet. You are thirsty. You are drinking it all up and using it and being as attentive as you're able to be, and acknowledging it and acknowledging and acknowledging and appreciating and reveling in that stuff. But when it's reversed to me, it's more like good things are still happening, but you might just be coasting or cruising and not really seeing the synchronicitous conversation that existence is attempting to have with you to help you deepen your practice of mastery of being whatever it is you are choosing to be. Cups is also the suit of water, right? So it rules all liquids in the body: urine, blood, semen, vaginal secretion. Therefore, it rules procreative family, therefore the nuclear family, but I go a generation up and down to grandparents and grandchildren. So of course it can rule procreativity, because a child is one of the most physical manifestations, and certainly the most independent kind of manifestation of creativity, because eventually your child grows up to be whatever they choose to be. It's not like when you write a book or create a business or release a project, it has your name on it, your stamp on it, but it is in your communication. Then maybe it goes off and has different iterations of itself, and in that sense has more childlike qualities. But a child does that more independently than anything else. But because the Cups rules creativity, it rules all kinds of creativity. How you will create your life, whether that means in the morning you rather start the coffee before you take a shower and then put the heater on so that you're comfy and then come out and drink the coffee, or whether it's high, big picture type of preference making, like this is my passion and this is the career path that I'm taking. So, water is about our ability to deal with the circumstances that we're in, because it's the most mutable element in the sense that it can be solid as ice, can be liquid as water, and it can be vaporous like steam or mist. So it's really about how much we're willing to take in, coexist, be present, be here. July is really a call to maturation in creativity and desire construction and participation, and not being on autopilot and allowing the invention of humanity to be what you will allow society to be as a member of the global community. I'll leave it on this note, being the word witch. The word human has a strange amalgamation, but it comes from a word that's sort of like Dmaga, literally like something with D's and G's and E's and O's and H's. And the original meaning of human is earthly creature, earthly being. So really being attentive to the nature of what you are, and not the invention of what people have decided what you are needs to be, which is a moot point, because what exists already is. So existence being OG is going to be the OG decider of that piece of the business. So this is Sanyu Estelle. You can find me on Instagram at Sanyu Estelle. That's spelled SANYUESTELLE. That'll be also in the description. And you can also find me at www.sanyuestelle.com and patreon.com/SanyuEstelle. So thanks for being here for the July reading. Hope to see you sooner than later, and I appreciate you.